Hello guys, we're back, and finally, we are now going to finally program these in. So without further ado, let's do that right now. Let's not waste any time. So alright, let's go on to our Nekko sprite right over here, and whoops, let's go ahead and have our attack frames, set up our attack frames. They're going to be arrays. We have our idle frame, our walk frames, jump, now I got all the camera works and all of that nuisance out of the way. We can now start making finally some exciting stuff. If you guys don't know what this is, just take a look at the texture atlas, the folder that we have all those sprites at, and you'll understand what these are. But let me just tell you while I'm doing it. It is the different combat moves, the different animation loops that have been provided for us. And why okay, we're gonna have different indices for these. This is for the idle index, the walk index, the jump index, and the combat index. Now what these are, well, before I start explaining them to you, let me just finish up this thing, and it should be pretty self-explanatory, but if not, then I will explain. So what we're going to do, we're going to initialize our textures, and then we're going to initialize, well, just initialize our textures first. Alright, there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at, we're going to allocate space for these things, comma, replace with equals new atlas region array. Okay. How much space exactly are we going to give it? Well, if we take a look at our thing over here, the idle loop has 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to give 4. The walk loop has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to give it 8. And so on and so forth. Right. So for the jump, we're going to give it 8. For the spin kick, we're going to give it 10. Now in here this is where I added one frame. It's supposed to be 9. The original is 9, but I just added one frame to it to make it look a little bit smoother. So I'm just going to put a comment right over there. For fast shot, 6. Power shot is 7. Flying kick is 8. Super uppercut is 13. The 1-2 combo is 10. The low middle kick is 12. High kick is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Downward kick is 9. This is where I added 1 frame. Two-sided attack, also 9. Again, I added 1 frame. Round kick is going to be 9. Also, where I added 1 frame. Finally, uppercut is going to be 7. Sorry, silly me, I didn't add 1 frame to spin kick. I added 1 frame to to uppercut. So what I'm gonna do, since I'm a little bit OCD, is I'm just gonna rearrange these from least to greatest. Again, because I'm OCD. Just for no particular reason. Have our walk and jump. Let's put our downward kicks over here. So, flying kick. Okay. Now let's populate these things. So in I equals 0, for I equals 0, I less than 4, I plus plus. So we're going to populate the idle because this is the only 4. This one is the only one that has 4 frames. So, and that, I guess, that's one of the reasons why I did this, so to keep things a little bit neater. It's equal to atlas. So I guess we're gonna need to pass in a texture atlas over here, right? We name this Nekko idle plus string dot value of I. Okay, we just populated this thing, the idle frame array. Can I convert from string? What string? What are you talking about? What? Oh, my bad. There we go. Now let's do the others. I equals 0, I less than 6, I plus plus. Now we have 2 things here. We have the high kick and the fast shot. So high kick, well, just and we named it Nekko high kick. Nekko fast shot. Okay. I less than, I guess the next one is 7. We have a couple of, we have 2 at 7, so just copy this. We have power shot. Named it Nekko power shot. Again, these names correspond to the names that we gave it when we used the texture packer Atlas, texture packer GUI. So again, let me just go here, refer to the Nekko resources where we're going to keep all of our stuff. So we'll type in this corresponds to this, which again has 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what that is all about. Power shot. What's the other one? Uppercut. Named it accordingly. Now we have a couple of things at 8. We have flying kick, walk, and jump. Flying kick, walk, and jump. For 9, we have 3 as well. I know this is a little bit tedious, but we're doing everything in one shot, so trust me, this is going to pay off. We have our downward kick, two-sided attack, and round kick. Alright, we're almost done. Let's do the ones that we have 10, which is spin kick and 1-2 combo. Combo. Then low, middle kick, and uppercut. Maybe I should just try and catch this with a index out of bounds exception. Maybe? Because that's what's going to happen if we just put all of this under in one for loop, having 13, looping 13 times. We're going to get some index out of bounds exception. But you guys can do that if you want to. I don't know if, but I'm going to do it this way. Ah. Last one. I'm gonna keep misspelling that. Oh my goodness. What? Pretty sure I didn't make a mistake here. Huh? Oh. Okay, and we're just going to set the current texture. Go to idle 0. Now remember, this current texture is in our sprites. Since these are protected, the subclass, which is Nekko Sprite, is going to inherit all of these things, including the animation delay, last animation time, and the X scale. So we can refer to these in the subclasses here, Nekko Sprite. I don't even know why I mentioned that. This is not a Java tutorial. I expect you guys to know these things already. So in here is we're gonna do the thing that I was talking about with a scale. Well, first of all, this is where we're going to animate the things, the animation. And what this is saying is just we're not gonna change the frame if an animation delay has not yet passed. But once this much amount of time has passed, we're going to animate. And how exactly are we going to animate? And first, of course, we want to set the last animation time to, if we go here, if this returns false, then we're just going to say last animation time equals time utils nano time, because we're now going to animate. And let me just show you what we're going to do. We're going to first we're going to animate our combat images. Now what we're about to do is, all we're going to do in this update method is find out which texture we're going to assign to current texture here. Which is it going to be? Because we can only assign one, right? Because we can only assign one because at any given point in time, our actor, our sprite, can only display one texture. Is he punching? If our sprite is punching, what frame is he at in the punching animation loop? Right? Is it going to be the 0 frame? Is it going to be the 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame? Is it the last frame? So that's all we're going to be determining. If the actor is walking, which frame is it going to be? Is it going to be the 0 frame? Is it going to be the 1 frame? Is it going to be the walk 2 frame? So that's what we're going to do in this update method. That's all we're going to do. We're going to determine what frame, what current texture should be. That's all we're going to do. So First, we're going to switch to combat images. Sorry, no, combat state. And this should return a value now if this returns true, that means we're going to return, and we're not even going to switch on the vertical motion state. Now these switches, what we're going to do in this switch combat state is we're going to find what current texture should be. Now if what do you call it? If our actor is not doing anything, then he's at idle. And if he's at idle, what we're going to do is just return false. Right? Because he's not doing any uppercuts or anything like that. So that's what we're going to do in switch combat state. We're going to return, because we always want to display if our actor is doing some kind of combat move. We always want to display that before anything else. Even before, if it takes top priority, higher priority than the falling animation loop or jumping animation loop, or the idle or walking loop. Right here. So this is the order in which we're going to do it. So if it's combat idle, meaning he's not doing any kind of move, we're going to move on to motion state. If we're not falling or we're not jumping, we're going to switch to horizontal motion state, in which case we may be idle or we may be moving. And then we're going to determine finally the texture in here if it's not determined in here or here. So that's all this is going to be. So first, let's switch on the combat state. So we're going to switch on the, and that's exactly why I called it switch, the method name I mean, combat state, because this is all we're going to do, switch on the combat state of our actor. In default is going to be return false. Now case spin, we're going to do a couple of things. Case we're spinning, what we're going to do is combat index plus plus to determine the animation frame that corresponds to the combat move. We have a lot of combat moves. We have round kick, we have two-sided attack, we have downward kick. So we're going to use this combat index for all of those things. And we're going to determine the current texture is equal to spin kick combat index, and we're going to set our animation delay to, let's say, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 zeros, meaning 0.06 seconds, I believe. No, 0.06 nanoseconds. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9.6. Right here. 0.1, 0.2. So it's 0.006 seconds. So every 0.006 seconds, we're going to change the frame, the combat index, the animation frame for this particular animation loop, and we're going to be testing this out. Oh, and if combat index equals spin kick dot length, what we're going to do is set the combat index equal to 0. Did we do that yet? No, but I'm pretty sure it defaults to 0. Yeah, we're going to set the combat index to 0, and that should be it for now. Now let's actually try this. Let's stop for a moment and try this. So, well, first let's try it up the vertical motion state. Right, so we're going to switch. Now, we're only going to switch. No, that's right. Or we're not even going to switch, just check. Now, if, because we only have 2 states anyway, you know, might as well switch, why not? And it's supposed to be vertical, not horizontal. Okay, and default is going to be default is going to return false. What we're going to do here is case jumping. We're now going to take care of the part where it's falling, because the falling animation is part of the jumping animation loop, so we're not going to worry about that. So jump index plus plus. Now again, if jump index equals jump dot length, we're just going to return false. Otherwise, our current texture is going to be jump and jump index plus plus. And for this animation loop, our animation delay is going to be equal to what is our animation delay going to be? For now, let's just say 6. Sorry, 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're working in nanoseconds. Remember, guys, nanoseconds. Let's just say 6 for now for everything. And we're going to return true. Let's do something. Okay, now let's work on our horizontal motion state. Alright, now we're only going to do this if our actor is on a platform or on a slope. Meaning if our actor is not falling or jumping, we're going to switch on our horizontal motion state. Otherwise, no. Well, does it even matter because it's the last one? No, it does matter because once our jumping animation loop runs out of frames and we're still falling, we don't want our actor to like move around while in midair. I don't know, that's just preference, but that's what I'm going to do here. We don't want to animate our actor while falling down and not doing anything other than just, we don't want to display a walking animation frame while our character is in midair. It's just not. That's just the way it is. Okay. Don't question me. Do not question me. Well, return true. Same standard stuff. Except we're not going to return 0 because we always want to keep looping around. Ooh, we're not done yet. We're going to set our current texture equal to idle index, just loops forever. Animation delay, let's just set it again to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to be changing these animation delays to make it look right, but for now it's going to do this. Now case moving, again, if walk index equals walk dot length, walk index equals 0. Whoops. Is there a way to combine this into one? That's fine. Current texture equals walk index. Now animation delay equals 6. If not, we're just gonna return false. What? And just default return false. Alright. Now, well, we're not done yet. We're not done yet, but let's see if we can get something on the screen, right? Let's check it out. See if we got something going on here. Probably not. I'm not sure. Let's check it out, though. Oh, right. We still need to add our actor to the proper lists. So let's go in here. What we're going to do, we're going to add it to our updatables list. Our player, I mean. And this is very important. You want to update the player first before you update the camera. Otherwise, the camera will be lagging one update by one update. So we don't want that. And then on our drawables, we want to draw, again, order matters. So we want to draw the player after we draw the map. Yeah. And I think that should be good enough. Let's try and run it. Still not drawing it. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Let's take a look at what's going on. Oh, and let's go to our Sprite class. I actually forgot something in here. We want to set the batch color. The golden rule of thumb is you always want to set the batch color back to its original one before you changed it over there. In any case, Let's the scale. Ah, yes, no, the scale. The scale is what's going on here, right? In here we have to determine what the scale is. Now, x scale is going to be equal to, well, actor.face state left. Is it? If it is, x scale is going to be negative 1.0f, and or if it's not, if it's facing right, x scale is going to be 1.0f. Then now let's run it. It should be working now. We should be seeing our right over there. So what is this x scale business going on here? Well, remember all of our sprites are facing right. So if we're facing right, then it should only be, the x scale should be 1. If we're facing left, then we need to scale on the x direction by -1, thereby flipping the image in the x direction. That's all it's doing. So if we go here, this is where we put the x scale, and that's called the scale. Scale x, that's the parameter that we're passing x scale into. So if it's -1, it's just going to flip the image in the x direction. If it's +1, it's just going to keep it the way it is. No flipping going on. Alright, so yeah. And you must be wondering, well, why isn't it like it's in the idle, right? Well, it's actually falling down. So what we're going to do is, instead of falling, let's just say, no, never mind. I meant to say that let's go to our location class, and if we initialize this to true, then we should be seeing it animated right there. Right? Okay. So let's put a to-do in here. Set to false. But for now, since we're testing stuff, we want to set it to true, just to pretend that we're on a platform, even though we're not. Alright. We're going to be testing a lot of stuff. So we're not going to do the physics yet, the detections and stuff like that. Hold on a moment. I lost my my camera. We're going to be doing that next, the physics and map creation. But for now, let's do some cool stuff. So we're going to go back to our Nekko sprite right over here. And no, as a matter of fact, let's not do that yet. Let's go back to our HUD. We're going to go back to our HUD. No, sorry, I meant our HUD input processor. So let's go there. HUD input processor. And what we're going to do is we're going to finally, well, not finally, but we're just going to, for testing and for the desktop version, we're going to be, we're just going to code up what's going to happen if we're using the desktop and we have a keyboard. Well, it's going to be on key down and on key up, these two over here. So let's do that right now. On key down, we're going to switch on the key code. Now, what if our player decides to hit the keys down, the arrow down? What's going to happen? It's going to be a to-do. What about left, right, up, space, and default? So, right. So instead of break, what we're going to do, control find break and replace it with return true. because they hit a key. So place all. Alright, switching on the key code. Left, right, up, space. Okay, for now let's say that our player, when they hit space, our player is going to, okay, we need to have access to our player here, so what we need to do is private actor. Should we set it to actor or Nekko? Well, just set it to actor. I'm pretty sure it should be good enough. And what we're going to do is copy and paste this over here. Set this. Whoop. Alright, now we're going to get a couple of errors here because we need to pass player in, and then we're good. Now we have access to player. Space, and what we're going to do is jump. And we're going to, it's not quite done yet, but otherwise we're just going to player dot combat state equal to, for this is just for testing purposes. We're going to be changing this later to add some more functionality other than just setting the frames. So set combat state to combat state dot, we already did spin, right? Okay, so combat state spin. For up, that's going to be well, left and right. Left and right, so player dot face state is going to be equal to face state dot face left. Same thing for right. And of course, player dot horizontal motion state equals moving. Alright, let's check out what happens. Oh, and we want to go on key up because we don't want to, once they hit down, they don't want to be moving forever. So once you hit the key up, they're going to stop moving. Or case. So if we release left or release right, we're going to set our player horizontal motion state equal to idle. And we're going to return true. Alright, let's check it out. Okay, I'm getting a null pointer exception. One key down. It says that, okay. No, I get what's going on here. So what we want to do is, in here we're passing in a null pointer. So because we haven't initialized our player yet, so what we want to do is just put that above the HUD, right there in KF Nekko, and we should be ready. There we go. An index out of bounds exception. You get all these exceptions. Jump index. My bad. Just remove the plus plus and we should be good. I always lose my camera handles. Thing is quite annoying. So let's run it again. So you can see we're moving left, we're moving right. We're jumping. Oh my goodness. Seriously. Ah yes, we're getting an index out of bounds exception. I know why. Well, first I know you're probably looking at me like, dude, what are you doing? You can put this over here. You're so noob. Okay guys, I'm sorry. Please go easy on me. Okay, there, you guys happy? Are you happy now? There you go. Alright. You guys happy now? Plus plus walk and plus plus idle. Okay, we saved one line of code. Ooh. Okay, so I know why, because we never reset the jump index. Now, when exactly do we reset the jump index? When we're jumping, right? Okay. So what we're going to need to do is go to our Nekko sprite, Nekko over here, and we're going to override something from our actor class. We're going to override the jump method. And what we're going to do here, if we do manage to jump, meaning we're in a platform or on a slope, we're going to jump. We're going to set our Nekko sprite dot jump index equal to 0 and then return true. Return false otherwise. Simple as that. Now if we run this, we should get no null pointer, index out of bounds exceptions. Okay, I'm still getting an index out of bounds exception. Amazing. Hold on one moment. Okay guys, I found the problem. This is exactly what I was talking about before. Actor. We saved, I'm in KF Nekko by the way. We saved the player as an actor. Now, an actor has this jump method over here. This is it. So we're not calling our Nekko's jump method because this is an actor, not a Nekko. So we're going to do a simple solution, Nekko, that's it. So we should not be getting any more null pointer exceptions. Index out of bounds exception. However, we are getting something index out of bounds exception. Amazing. Hold on one moment. Okay, I am just at a loss at why we're getting index out of bounds exception. Not here, but here. And we got an index out of bounds exception. Are we missing one frame? Hold on a moment. Let me check if we're missing one. Let's take a look. No, we are not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. We have 8 frames. We have 8 frames. So why is it giving me an index out of bounds exception whenever I go here? Should return false. Let me just try and figure this out. Okay, you know what, I guess this might be it. So if we increment this in order to check if we're still in state jumping and this is greater, then we're just going to return false. Yeah, okay. I think that's good enough. We're not getting any index out of bounds exception. Alright, we'll just leave it like this. Okay. Alright, now let's move on to switch combat state. We're gonna, for the rest of them, we're gonna do the rest of them. Well, we haven't done the spin yet, right? No, we haven't done the spin. Let's actually try it out. Great, of course. Null points are exception. Of course. Current texture, null points are exception. Of course, I mean, why would it work, right? It obviously wouldn't work. Spin, current texture equals spin kick, combat index. So you're telling me that I did something wrong when doing the spin kick. Nekko spin kick. Is that not correct? No, it's just Nekko spin. Okay. Okay. Alright. Looks cool. Now we're going to do it for the rest of them. Do the same thing that we did for spin, except for the rest of them, right over here. Alright. Okay, so case, fast shot. You know what? We know what would be easier. Just okay. Instead of spin, make it fast shot. Fast shot length. Do a power shot. Dot length. We're gonna do a flying kick. Oh, oh. Almost forgot. What we want to do is insert here. We're going to deactivate the combat. So let's just do that. Because once the animation loop finishes, we're going to deactivate the combat. Set our actor to idle. But we're not just going to set actor.combatState.idle. Set our actor's combat state to idle in here. Instead, we're going to create a method so that our actor can do something, whatever it might be, when it finishes executing the combat move, whether it's spin, fast shot, power shot, whatever it might be. So on deactivate combat. And we're just going to create that for type actor. And all we're going to do here is set our combat state equal to combat state dot idle. Alright? So let's go back to our Nekko sprite right over here. And we're just going to insert this every time we see combat index 0. So make sure you do this. This is very important. Let's copy and paste. Okay, let's double check. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. I believe it's all there. Flying kick. Let's do super uppercut. One, two combo. Let's have a low middle kick. Let's have a high kick. Let's do the downward kick. Let's do the two-sided attack. Let's do the round kick. Great, I misspelled it. So let's go to our, I have so many things on me. Let's go to our combat state. We misspelled something. I lost my camera focus again. Oh, this is so annoying. Okay, go to our combat state. We misspelled round kick. There we go. And one more, which is super uppercut. I mean, just regular uppercut. Alright, they all have the same animation delay, but we're going to change that later on. I'll probably do that off screen, and I'll show you the results that I got, because they shouldn't all be, the animation delay shouldn't all be the same. Some should be faster and some should be slower. We're going to have to feel that out by testing. But for now, let's go back to our... have you guys played... what do you call it? You guys played Mortal Kombat, right? And stuff like that. So what we're going to do is create a combo attack manager. And I guess this is going to be a pretty cool class. So in here we're going to decide, well, let's just add documentation for it now. So here we're going to decide, we're going to detect combos based on collected user input. And you know what, let me just set the dictionary. Damn Eclipse. Let's go to okay. Let's add my name in the dictionary. Alright. So let's see. Let's say our Nekko. And you know, this, I guess this could be a little something, a little short tutorial on documentation in using Java docs. So it's just plain old XML, HTML format. So if we hover over this, we see that, oh look, cool. But first let's make this into a paragraph. Alright, so let's say unordered list spin, right? Let's say for spin, what we're going to do is we want the player to input down plus jump plus attack. That's what the player needs to input, press, or touch if he wants to execute the spin move. And this is just documentation, it's nothing special, so don't get confused. Okay, what about for power shot? For power shot, I guess the player can down, right, right, attack, right, yeah. So say down plus right plus attack for power shot, or down plus left plus attack. Now you're probably seeing a pattern in here. So there's a pattern. Every time we press down, we're going to start recording. And once they press the attack button, we're going to stop recording, and then we're going to recognize which one of these combos they inputted. If they didn't input a combo, if the combination wasn't correct, they're simply going to do a fast shot. So I guess our default attack is going to be the fast shot, just because it looks like a jab. So yeah. So what about the flying kick? Flying kick, I guess down plus right plus jump plus attack, or plus left What about super uppercut? Okay, super uppercut, let's see. How's it looking so far, by the way? It's looking good, looking good. And I guess we want to break over here and maybe put a bold over here. Let's see how this looks. Again, you don't have to do this. This is nothing but documentation to make things look nice. I guess let's put this in this own paragraph. See how it looks. Ah, it looks better. Alright. Let's see, what about... let's super uppercut. Apricot. Let's say down plus up plus attack. What about 1-2 combo? let's say down plus right plus attack. So let's keep it simple. Or and this is just an HTML format. If you don't know HTML, then go ahead and Google HTML tutorial. UL for unordered list. We're going to start an unordered list. We're going to set the title to be low, middle, kick. Bold, in bold, list item. It's going to be down plus attack. And list item and unordered list. And that's basically all this is. Okay, what about high kick? Let's say down plus up plus attack. What about downward kick? Let's say it's going to be just down plus attack. What about two-sided attack? Oh, this is going to be big. So it's going to be down plus up plus left plus right plus attack. This is probably going to be the most complicated, the most difficult one to execute, simply because the amount of buttons that they need to hit. Or could be right first and then left. Okay. We still have round kick and uppercut. So let's do round kick. Let's say it's going to be down plus left plus right plus attack, or it's going to be right first and then left. What's going on here? Oh. Oh my god, seriously. And finally, last one, we have uppercut. Which I guess is going to be down up. Okay, now we're done documenting this. If we take a look at our documentation, see how we did. We did pretty good. Alright. Okay, so now let's actually implement this. What are we going to do in our Combo Attack Manager class? You know what, let's just, there we go. Alright, let's say input, and again for this part you can use enums, but I'm just going to use integers. Left should be pretty self-explanatory what I'm doing here. Make sure they're different numbers, otherwise you can't switch on them. And then we're going to have a reset delay. Let's say 0.8 seconds. Alright, okay, so we're going to keep track of these things. I'm going to call it history. Of course, last input time. Let's initialize our history here. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. I'm not explaining a lot of things, but I'm trying to go as fast as I can because okay, combat state. We're going to input a combat move, whatever it might be. So it's going to be either one of these things. It's going to be input left, right, up, down, attack, or jump. That's what input is going to be. And we're going to spit out a combat state. Now what we're going to do here is determine based on the input. So if the user pressed down, what's going to happen? What combat state is he in? If the player hits the right button, what combat state is going to be in? And that's our job to determine here. So, you know, let's just document this now so that we can use this as a guideline. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to say that this clears the input history after reset delay has passed, or if the yeah, after, okay, this is the way we after, and this passed, and you know what was it say? This will determine the combat state that it will return based on the input and input concatenated with the history. So let's do the reset. So we're going to reset history if input past the recording time. So if the user was too slow, meaning if the user wanted to execute the uppercut, which means that he would have to press down, up, attack. Well, let's say he pressed down and then he pressed up. He or she would have to press the up button right after the down button before 0.8 seconds has passed. Otherwise, they must start over again. So that's what we're doing here. Oh, and history is not empty. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wait for input down, because that is our trigger. That is going to signal the Combat Attack Manager to start recording the history. Because remember, in all of these, we said that the trigger is going to be the down button. So every time they want to execute a combat move, they have to first start with the down button and then end with the attack button, where somewhere in the middle they're going to press some other buttons so that they can execute different moves. It's just a combination. That's all we're doing here. Now you can probably do it some other way. I'm just doing it this way. And input is not equal to input down. Meaning, if the history is not empty, it cannot be input down, because we're not going to be... Input down is just the trigger. See, we're not pressing down more than once. Or wait a minute, is that even right? Hold on a moment, let me just think for a second. Hold on a moment, let me just gather my thoughts. Oh, right. So if the history is empty and it's not input down, all we're going to do is return the regular attack. Meaning if they just want to attack regularly with fast shot, remember we said that fast shot is going to be a regular attack. It's not going to be a combo move. So we're going to return fast shot. Else just return combat state idle. Okay. Now if the history size is not equal to 0, something is in our history, then we're going to record it. Input. Now if input equals input attack, that means that combat, we're finally going to recognize, we're finally going to compute what is going on here. Yeah, we're finally going to compute the combat move that they attempted to execute. So I'm just going to say recognize. And we're going to clear the history afterwards. Otherwise, if it's not input attack, we're just going to turn combat idle. Okay, so on our recognize, we're going to switch on our history size. And as a default, if none of the inputted keys match any one of the combos listed over here, then we're just going to return they failed, and then we're just going to return combat idle, or just the default attack move, which is fast shot. Right? Okay. Now what we're going to do here, case case 2, history size .2, we're just going to return downward kick. Why downward kick? Well, let's take a look. A downward kick, we said that it's only going to be, in order to execute downward kick, you're only going to need to press down plus attack. Well, that's the only thing that has size 2. Remember, in order to execute a combat move, other than the default one, which is fast shot, you're going to need to at least signal the combat manager that, hey, input is down, start recording. But if our next input is attack, that means we're done. So this is the only possible 2 combinations for our history to have size equal to 2 for it to be a combat move. I know that didn't make any sense, but so we're just gonna return combat state dot downward kick. And here we're just going to return the state. Now we don't want to clear the history before we compute recognize, because we need the history first. That's why we have this. Okay. Well, what about case 3? Case the history size is 3. We're not gonna do it here, but we're gonna turn recognize 3. So what are the possible attacks that have size 3? We see that spin has size 3. 1-2 combo has size 3. Low middle kick is also size 3. And yeah, I guess that's oh, we forgot something here. Down up plus attack. Yeah, and uppercut as well. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright. Now we're gonna switch. Now at this point, let's just make a comment here. At this point we are receiving attack plus question mark, sorry, not attack, but down plus question mark plus attack. Now what is this question mark? Okay, we have our history, it has size 3, 0, 1, 2. So we're going to switch on history dot 1. What is that question mark? Depending on what that question mark is, so if input jump, we're going to return spin, because, right? So down, jump, attack equals spin, as we said over here. Down, jump, attack equals spin. Alright? So that's all it is, and that's what we're going to do for the rest of them. What if it's or? Then we're just going to return 1-2 combo. What if it's I was going to return, just copy combat state, low middle kick. Otherwise it's up. Alright, what if history size is 4? So here we're receiving 2 question marks. So we need to switch twice. For each switch that we have here, we're going to start from here. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? We're going to switch on the 3 first. We're going to work from right to left. You can work whatever way you want. I'm just doing it my way because I'm my own boss. Case input right. We're going to switch on, so history get 1. So first we're switching on history.get2, and then we're going to switch on history.get1. Now case input right, we're going to turn power shot, right? So this is so what the player did here was he touched down, right, right, plus attack. So down, right, right, attack is power shot, as we said before. But what if it's left? What if it's down, left, right, attack? Then we're going to return what? Down, left, right, attack, down, right, left, attack. So we're going to turn round kick. So down, left, right, attack, which is, it is round kick. Am I correct? Yes, I am. Otherwise, he made a mistake somewhere, so we didn't recognize any of these. If it's not right or left, then it's not unrecognized. So all we're going to do is return the default combat move, which is combat state dot fast shot. And then what about if this question mark over here is input left? What then? Switch on history. Well, let's first put a default to get rid of that error. Case that it's so down, left, left attack is going to be power shot, right? This is going to be round kick again. Otherwise, default fast shot. What about after down? What about input jump? Input right, or it's going to be a flying kick. And finally, what if it's input up? What if the third one that they press, it's input up? High kick. So down, up equals high kick, right? What if it's down? So down, up. Sorry, down. What if it's down? Okay, so this is down, up. That's high kick. What if it's down, down? So what if it's down, down, up, attack? That's going to be, so down, down, up, attack. That's going to be super uppercut. Yeah. All right. And that should be it. Oh, we have one more actually. What if it's 5? We only have one combo move that requires 5 button hits, and that is two-sided attack. All right. Now, if three equals input right and So, right. So first of all, if right, or in here inside this, so copy this, right? So if this is true, if one of this is true, first of all, two-sided attack needs down, up, left, right. So history 1 needs to be up, but history 2, so down, up, left, right, or down, up, right, left. So history 2 can either be right or left, and history 3 can either be right or left. So that's all we're doing here. So, but for history 1 has to be input up though, in order for us to return two-sided attack. Else, they made a mistake. So we're just going to return fast shot. And we're now, what? We are now done with the combo attack manager, and we're ready to use it in our HUD input processor. Alright, now we're going to go on here to our touchdown key down. So what we're going to do here is, so attack manager dot input down, right, because they press the down key. And we're just going to do the same thing here, except it's going to be left. This one's going to be right. This one is going to be up. Any other key? And finally, instead of this, we're going to do this, right? Because remember, the last and final input to a combo is attack. So this is going to call the input managers recognize, and going to see if we inputted the correct combos. And you know what? We're not gonna do this. We're gonna say set combat state. Okay, because we need to do something here. So go to actor, and all we're gonna do here is So, and I guess might as well return a Boolean, right? Do we need to? No, we don't need to return a Boolean. Why do we need to return a Boolean? So why do we do this if that's all we're going to do? Well, we have something else in mind there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to our Nekko right over here, and we're going to override that method. All right, and we're just gonna wait for the combat move in execution to finish. So if then we're going to set our combat state equal to and then we're also going to execute the combat move. And that's it. So we're going to create this in this thing over here. Something else is going to happen other than setting the combat state. Once we execute this, I don't know, we fly, we jump, and then we do something, we step forward or something whenever we execute a certain type of combat move. But for now, we're going to switch on the combat state. And we're just going to prepare for that. So what are we going to do? Case it's fast shot. What about power shot? So once the user successfully executes a combat move, we're going to do something special, and that's what we're doing here. You know, it's not just going to be a different animation loop. It's going to be more than that. And you must be wondering, what is this? Wait for combat move in execution to finish. What I mean by that is, if we take a look at our Nekko sprite right over here, remember whenever we set a combat state, let's say we set a combat state to spin, we're going to keep increasing that, the combat index, returning the appropriate, setting the appropriate texture. But once we reach the end of that animation loop, we're going to set the combat index to 0 because we don't want to do it over again, right? So just one fast shot loops, displays an entire animation loop and then sets the combat index to 0 and deactivates combat, meaning it goes to combat idle. So once it's combat index, we are again ready to execute another combat move. So that's why we have this condition over here. What if it's a flying kick? What about super uppercut? 1-2. What are we going to do if it's 1-2 combo? What are we going to do if it's low middle kick? Okay, what about high kick? What about downward kick? Two-sided attack. What about round kick? And what about uppercut? Right, we're going to do something special in these things. But for now, let's see if it actually works. So let's run it. Okay. Down, up, attack, uppercut. Down, up, attack, high kick. Down, up, attack, uppercut, super uppercut. Down, right, attack. Hadouken. No, we can't say Hadouken. Copyright violation or whatever that is. What about down, up, left, right attack? Two-sided attack. What about flying kick? So it's down, right, jump attack. What about 1-2 combo? What about spin? Spin is down, jump, attack. What about low middle kick? Down, attack. Okay, so yeah, it works. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause the video here and find out the correct correct animation delays for each one of these, for spin, fast shot, power shot, stuff like that. So, and I'm gonna come back here in just a moment. Okay, that took quite a bit of time, but I think I got it right now, the correct animation delays. Okay, for spin I got 4 and then 7 zeros corresponding to 0.004 seconds. Point 1. No, this is 1. Sorry. Okay, if it's here, 0.1. 0.4. It's either 0.04 seconds. I'm kind of curious now. 1 second in nanoseconds is 1, right? Shoot. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, so 0.04 seconds. Every 0.04 seconds, we're going to change the frame of spin kick. And at the end of that frame, we're going to set our combat index to 0 and deactivate our combat state. Set it to idle. Okay, so for spin, I got 0.04 seconds. For fast shot, I got 0.03 seconds. Power shot, 0.06 seconds. Flying kick, 0.03 seconds. Super uppercut, 0.02 seconds. 1-2 combo, 0.04 seconds. Low middle kick, 0.045 seconds. High kick, 0.06. Downward kick, 0.05. Two-sided attack, 0.05. Round kick, 0.05. Uppercut, 0.07. So if we test this out, right, so it looks a little better. Not a lot of difference, but it looks a little better. Okay? Now I think the idle is it goes a little bit too fast, so we should change that. So let's go to our horizontal motion state. The here, let's make it 12 instead of 6. And when we're moving, let's make it 2. It's a little too slow. All right. Okay. All right, this looks a little better. There we go. And we're going to be inserting some special effects in here, so later on. But for now, this is it. Okay, so what's going on here? Why is there... Oh, and by the way, guys, I've not yet gone to the gym. I said I was going to go right afterwards, but I decided to eat. So I'm going to have to go to the gym at 9 o'clock, probably be back here. I've been recording for about an hour and 50 minutes now, so I guess it's going to take about 4 hours to render this thing and put it up on YouTube. So I can do another recording later tonight when I get back, which is perfect. Okay, is this everything that we have for... Ah, that's right. So we're going to do the same thing in here on touchdown. What we did for the keyboard, we're going to do the same thing for on touchdown of our HUD pad. So let's go here. All right, and we're going to do the exact same thing. So processor, attack man. Did we save the processor? Oh, we didn't pass in the processor. Okay. So we need to pass in the processor here. And the player as well. So we need the actor, the HUD input processor. Okay, we're gonna... Alright, now we can do it. So processor dot attack. Whoops. Attack manager, come on. It must be private. Yeah, I set it to private, so just set this to public. Go back here, so it should now be accessible. And I'm doing public because I don't really write getters and setters. Ugh, tedious. Right, so attack manager dot input exactly the same thing that we did for the keyboard, except this time we're doing for our buttons in the HUD. So, whoa, left, I mean right. Up, down, jump, attack. Do we, let's see, one second here. Right, so we go here. let's make sure that this is Nekko, because our player is always going to be Nekko. And let's go to our HUD. We're getting the error. And make sure that okay, we need to pass in the processor, but we first need to pass in our player. So I need an okay. Guys, make sure that's a that's a Nekko, not an actor. Because remember, in our Nekko, we have a bunch of these overridden things that the actor. So if you put actor there instead of Nekko, the actor's jump method will be called and not the Nekko jump method. So we don't want that. Okay, let's go back. So player set combat state, right? Including this, we overrode the combat state. Set combat state. Let's just put down the things that we overrode here. Okay. So if we run this, let's use this now. Down, right, attack. Down, up, attack. Down, down, up, attack. Down, up, left, right, attack. Down, up, left, right, attack. Down, jump, attack. Down, jump, attack. So regular attacks. Oh, we can see it's not really entirely aligned correctly, like the animation. But we'll do that later. Huh. All right. Okay, so I believe we're done with the HUD pad. I don't see anything else that we need to do here. So we're done with the HUD pad, completed. Are we done with the HUD input processor? For now, yes. We might do something for touch up later on, but for now we're done with the input processor. And now we can work on the Nekko sprite. So I guess what we need to do is actually do an attack. So if we go to our switch combat state, and let's take a look at our main character when they're attacking. Now if we take a look over here in the power shot, when should we attack the enemies? What frame? So for example, for fast shot, like when do we attack the enemy? So attack frame, fast shot 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in here at 4, at index 4, we should attack the enemy because look, in here his hand is still retracted, and here he finally attacks. Right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're going to do is in fast shot is that if our combat index, sorry, let's actually do it after we incremented it. Is equal to 4, we're going to attack. And since we're in Nekko Sprite, Nekko's a good guy, we're going to pass in, who are we going to attack? We're going to attack the enemies. And we said that fast shot is going to do 1 damage. Is it going to be AoE? No, it's not going to be AoE. Alright, and then we're going to activate an effect. Right? We don't just want the animation, we just don't want the sprite. We also want to add effects. So we're going to be adding effects later, but for now, just create the method, and we're going to leave that for later. Right? So when finally attacks, we're going to have an effect. It's going to be an image effect, like an after image, like a KungFu, and then you got this thing, like the pow image. Oh, you'll see later on. I'm still trying to think. And that's I saw a lot of effects that I think are appropriate for this, for effects that we're going to be using here with Red Strike's USF sprite sheets. So we're going to be using those. That's why we gave him credit already in our attributions.txt. But for now, let's do this. What about for spin? When are we going to attack? In our spin animation loop. In our spin animation loop, right here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to attack at frame 7 for spin. So if combat index equals 7, we're going to do the same thing. So let's just copy and paste this. Okay, what about power shot? Power shot, we're going to have, let me just, I'm not going to show you, you already know how to do it, but power shot, if combat index equals 5, frame number 5, and this is going to be, it's not going to be AoE, however it's going to do 2 damage for flying kick. It is going to be index number 5, and it's going to be AoE, so it's going to attack multiple enemies. For super uppercut, this one is a beast. This one is at index 5. It's going to be true, and it's going to do 3 damage. It's a beast. Now for the 1-2 combo, now this is going to be something special because in the 1-2 combo we actually hit twice. So if we take a look at the 1-2 combo here, we take a look at the animation frames 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It attacks here. Then it retracts its fist and then attacks again at frame number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it attacks at frames number 4 and 7. That's the 1-2 combo. So not just at 7, but also at combat index equals 4. Or, let's do that. And the 1-2 combo is damage 1, and it's not AoE. Low middle kick is going to be like the 1-2 combo, except it's going to be combat index equals 2 and combat index or combat index number 8. It's also 1 damage and single target. High kick, it's going to be a combat index number 2, frame number 2. We're going to attack. It's going to be AoE damage, multiple target, 2 damage. So downward kick. It's going to be combat index number 7. It's going to deal 2 damage, and it's going to be also AoE. Two-sided attack. It's going to deal 1 damage. However, it's going to be AoE. Round kick is going to be two-sided attacks, actually frame 6. And the round kick is going to be over here, in which it does at frame number 5. It deals 2 damage, and it's multiple targets. It's AoE. Uppercut, it's also going to deal 2 damage, and it's also going to be AoE. And this happens at frame number 4. Alright, now for activate effect, we're just going to go on over to our Nekko and then copy what's in here. Okay, what if the combat state is a spin, fast shot? What effect are we going to do? Right? What effect are we going to do? So, yeah, looking good so far. Let's check it out if we broke anything. Probably not. Okay, so next time we are going to do some effects. Well, no, we're not going to do some effects. We're actually going to leave this like this for now, and we're going to move on to making maps and the platforms and moving around. So that's going to be in the next video. Oh, right. Also, I guess, so this is when you execute a combat move, and that happens when you set the combat state to something. But what about when you're done executing a combat move? We're going to modify some variables whenever we execute a specific combat move. We might change the speed to a certain amount. So we need to undo that. So in order to undo that, we're going to need to insert in here on deactivate combat. So that's why it's here, on deactivate combat. So what we're going to do is go to Nekko, and we're going to override. Well, let's put it here. The on deactivate combat. And we're still going to call the super, which sets the state to combat idle. But before we do that, we need to know what what combat state just finished executing, so we can undo whatever changes that we made in execute combat move. So we begin the combat move, we make some changes, whatever it might be, may it be the speed or the jump height or whatever. Once we're done executing that combat move, we're gonna undo that here. So copy and paste this, and then we're gonna finally set the state to combat idle. Excuse me. Okay, and so we're gonna leave it like this for now. Let's cross this out, and next time we're gonna work on our map. Finally, we're gonna have something in the background, or finally gonna display something other than the background. So look forward to that. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna finally go to the gym. I have to go to the gym, otherwise I'm gonna get fat. Plus, it's quite dangerous, you know, sitting on my chair all day long and not walking at all. That's just a recipe for disaster. So I'm gonna go to the gym, and it's been 2 hours, so it's gonna take about 4 hours to render this video and then upload it to YouTube, which is a perfect opportunity for me to go to do whatever I want to do. So it's probably finished rendering at about 1 a.m. and then before I go to bed, I'll do another 2-hour recording. So while I'm sleeping, the video is rendering. Because again, our deadline, we got to meet the deadline. All right. So I'll see you guys hopefully in the next video if you want to see through this, this project to the end. See you guys next time.